share a little of my background just real quick. I spent 37 years with CDF at CAL FIRE. Back in the 1970s, I was a fire prevention officer, and we were chasing an arsonist down in San Juan Capistrano, and he was hiding in the dry riverbed. And we ended up in a horse stable, and I talked to the gentleman at the stable, and I said, "Can I borrow a horse?" And I said, "But I need one that can handle the radios," because it was carrying a radio. And he said, "Nah, no problem." He said, "This police chief's wife's horse is perfectly attuned, does parades with radios and everything else, no problem at all." So I saddled up, radio squawked, I saddled off on my butt, just bam right now. And it took a half an hour to catch the horse, because every time I would stop, the radio would buzz. Here I am standing next to a donkey. I'm having some wild adventures.
He's used to radios.
I don't believe it. At any rate, I want to welcome everybody and tell you how much I appreciate everything that's being done up here, and especially this fact coming up here. I want to recognize a few of the folks. I don't have everybody's name here, I don't believe. Norma.
Tell them, yes.
From Bob Marquette's office. Stephen Johnson from Cinnamon Adams' office. And
Adam Serrano from Committee.
thank you. And if I missed anybody, just shoot me afterwards. Mike McIntyre from the Forest Service, real quick, is going to introduce some of his folks.
Our Forest Division Chief, Dave Conklin. Scott Loudon, who's our District Fuel Prevention Battalion, but is also our liaison for the Fire Safe Councils. And from our Public Affairs Office will be Sherry Roman and Sam Corey.
And Rich Schneider from SierraMadre Fire Department. Jackie Gibson, there she is. I shouldn't say is she, where is she, is what I meant. And Jerry Davies from the insurance industry is going to introduce the insurance folks. But we're here to say thank you to the Sierra Madre Fire Safe Council and the Santa Anita Fire Safe Council. This little Santa Anita Canyon, big Santa Anita, I'm sorry. And it is a big canyon. Took a $10,000 grant and put in a modern day communication system, Frank telephone. And I have heard the stories from several different people on its effectiveness, usefulness, and the fact that you could go to buy a cell phone for $100 and it doesn't work up here. You can have the most expensive $500 cell phone and it still doesn't work up here. And the Blackberries don't work up here. I've seen that proven this morning. But the crank telephone worked, and we're going to make it good for you today. But before we do that, I want to introduce Jerry Davies. Jerry Davies! Yay!
All right.
Yeah, I was talking to Nick a few minutes ago, and I kept backing up as we were talking. All of a sudden I felt this. And I turned around and it was the guy over there, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, how far is the next county? Because I think that's where he was going to send me. I just want to say thank you very much to everyone who came out today. This is a great showing, and I think we're looking forward to one heck of a program with the farmers insurance companies, with all of our legislators, our Congress people, and our local fire safe councils. And Margaret and my boss, Mark Toohey, will be talking about how involved Farmers is getting and will be with the local fire safe councils throughout the state. We're really looking forward to that. And today we've got a special grant that Mark is going to talk about. that we're going to give the fire safe councils. And I too would like to congratulate the 2 local fire safe councils. There will be an award, as Bruce said, coming up here in just a few moments. But I'd like to call Mark Toohey, the Senior Vice President of Media Relations at the Farmers Insurance Group. Mark has been in so much in terms of legislation throughout the United States as Vice President of Legislation and Regulation, and he has an intimate knowledge of the kinds of legislation that needs to be passed in each state in order to get down to the nitty-gritty of fire prevention, saving lives, and mitigating loss of property. And we work very closely with the fire safe councils, but also the firefighters of this state, the forestry people, and all of the other groups. And it's just incredible. You think about insurance. The firefighters go in, they put the fires out. Who's next in? We are. But I guarantee you, without the work of the forestry or the firefighters, there ain't no path in to help homeowners if they don't get those fires out. And that's why we are so pleased to work with them. So I'd like to call Mark up and thank Bruce, who is the founder, I don't know if everyone knows this, of the fire safe councils in the state of California. He started it. When I first came to California in '95, he called me. He says, "You're in insurance, right?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "I need to talk to you." And from that day on, I was on the fire safe council board. And it's been a money ride ever since. But it's been a pleasure to serve on the California Fire Safe Council, the board, and all of the great people in the local offices. And Bruce will point them out to you. But it's been a pleasure the last 12, 13 years working on the board, and especially looking at how the fire safe councils have grown in California and other states, by the way. We are the prototype for Nevada and other states that are looking at the way we do things in California. Now I'd like to call on Mark Toohey, Senior Vice President of Media Relations at Farmers Insurance.
Thank you, Jerry, and thank you, Bruce. I'm going to call all the farmers folks up here in just a few minutes when we make the check presentation. No, you're fine. You're fine, yeah. I just want to say, you know, Bruce talked about how his career has kind of come full circle, and I think a lot of you, I was talking to Steve Johnson before, and, you know, the world is round, and careers come full circle. And I remember a long time ago when I was a reporter, people used to kid about, you know, dog and pony shows. And I'm thinking full circle now. Dog, ponies, and cat mules, you know. I also want to just say that, you know, just on behalf of farmers, if I was going to sum up my speech in 2 words, it would be thank you, because we just want to thank you for everything that you all have done. I mean, this is such a natural partnership between firefighting and insurance. We kind of kick ourselves, and I use those words with some trepidation, but we kind of kick ourselves, I think, in this industry for not, you know, kind of connecting those dots a little bit sooner. But, you know, we look forward, and as we look forward, we see an incredibly good and natural partnership. We do have a lot of farmers people here today, and again, I'm going to have them all come up when we do the presentation. But and I know, Bruce, that you recognized our elected officials before, but you know, I don't think anybody would object if I recognize them again. Absolutely. Because without these folks, who we all elect, these kind of things don't get done. So Steve helped me a little bit with the protocol before, so I'm going to start, you know, again with Congressman David Dreyer's office, and ask you to recognize and to applaud Adam Serrano. Adam, just put your hand up. And then again, as Bruce mentioned before, from Senator Bob Margette's office, the District Director, Norma Pontello. Norma? And last but not least, from Assemblymember Anthony Adams' office, a good friend of farmers for a long time, Mr. Steve Johnson. Steve? We are honored to be here today to present a $150,000 grant to the California Fire Safe Council, and to join the Fire Safe Council in presenting many grants to to two fire safe councils, the Sierra Madre and the big Santa Anita Canyon councils for their work during the May Santa Anita Fire. Congratulations to them, specifically Mike Kinney, Caroline Brown, and others from the Sierra Madre Fire Safe Council, and from the big Santa Anita Fire Safe Council, Jackie Gibson and others. Today, if there's news to be made today, I think the news is that we are announcing the launch and development and implementation of a series of innovative, what we call Together is Better workshops. And these workshops will include farmers agents, management, employees, and communities around the state. And we will all work together with the local fire safe councils to create new ways of involving government, homeowners, media, individuals, and community groups as collaborators in fire prevention projects. Working together, we believe we can prevent loss of life and mitigate property loss from what has become a year-round threat. We are excited about working with the fire safe councils on this important initiative. I'd like to recognize one particular farmers agent. They're all going to get recognition in a little bit, but one agent who is a board member from the San Diego Fire Safe Council, and that is farmers agent from San Diego, Marilyn Hunsimer, who I think is I'd also like to thank Bruce Turbeville, who's, again, as you know, Chair and Chief Executive Director. Well, actually, in addition to Bruce, the Chair and Chief Executive Director, Margaret Grayson. Margaret, thank you very much for all the great work that you do in California. Now, drum roll. Do we have maybe Mountain Wilson Slim will help us with a Slim, yeah. Check presentation. Jerry, do we have a check? And then could I ask all of the farmers?
Yes, you will.
He would, he could do
They don't need to buy that a bit.
He might reduce it down to like 125,000.
Yeah, we can't have that.
I'm good.
She was 0 off.
No. Oh, you're all done.
That's it. We're done. Okay.
All right, just a couple of very, very final comments. I keep eyeing the. I just, we do have, as you can tell, a lot of our agents and employees, and I just wanted to recognize some of them. I think a lot of you who are from this area know our district manager, Najee Garabat. Najee, put your hand up in the air if you like. Obviously, his office is in Arcadia, but he's also one of the top district managers for farmers in the entire country. So thank you so much for being here. Representing our state office in Simi Valley, a year ago, I remember an event similar to this. Bill Matlock was here, and you got to meet Bill. Bill was traveling today, but he sent his #1 guy, and that's Jack White. Jack? This man in the middle here, Jerry Davies, who's much too modest to tell you about some of the things that he does. He's only been with our organization a year and a half. We're fortunate to have him. In addition to being an employee of Farmers, he also is a gubernatorial appointee. And Jerry, I'd like for you just to let the group know what that appointment is and what you do.
Got appointed to the State Board of Fire Services. And I guess I'm the only insurance guy on there, so it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here. Appreciate all that you do, and look forward to being here.
Thanks, farmers.
Thank you very much.
If I could have somebody from each of the two councils, Sierra Madre and Big Santa Anita Council.
They want you, Jackie. They want you, Jackie.
Margaret?
You can get closer to the California Safe Council, Fire Safe Council, very much. Thank you.
Do you want me to read mine too? Hang that on our wall.
Let's get that part.
Our accountant is here. He wants to make sure you actually get the check.
I'd like to say that when I first learned about the Fire Safe Council, I was attending forestry meetings for the Southern California American Society of Foresters. And many Fire Safe Council people from different parts of Southern California were attending these meetings. And I knew very little about what their work was. But after the second year, when I heard more about it, I thought to myself, we really need to have this in Sierra Madre. So I took the information back to Mike Kinney because I knew how active he had been when a neighborhood had been involved with a fire in 1993. And from there on, we worked very hard, and it's taken us quite a while, but we've got the city of Sierra Madre behind us. Our fire marshal works very hard with us. We've done a red flag patrol the last year, and it's been a pleasure. People ask me why I do this. I said, well, I help myself save my own house and then help others save their houses too.
I just want to say thank you. Also, after this presentation, we have a little presentation of our own in the back if any of you would like to stay and watch our 10-minute video. And then you can see our accomplishments as a Fire Safe Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
Would like to help, they're
I'd just like to repeat how important Fire Safe Councils and partnerships are. You just can't beat it when a community takes it upon itself to do something to protect itself. And the State Fire Safe Council does whatever it can to get funding and seed money down to the local level. And the support from the insurance industry and the other entities that are supporting it, we just can't thank them enough.